These YouTubers just destroyed their career in this one single video. And the people we're talking about today is the Watcher team, where the main people are Stephen Lim, Ryan Brigada, and Shane Madej, known originally from BuzzFeed. And I guess these people left BuzzFeed to eventually end up in a similar position as BuzzFeed. So they dropped this video titled Goodbye YouTube, which as of recording now is number 5 on trending. And it's safe to say they messed up, because it now seems like they are paywalling their future content behind their own platform called WatcherTV.com. The platform is apparently $6 a month or $60 a year. And that's a very interesting business decision. If I just take a quick look at their channel, their last video got 50,000 likes. So I severely doubt they're gonna out-earn their AdSense on a subscription model, because they're gonna need to convert tens of thousands of people over to this platform. And that's gonna be really hard to do running on a paywall strat where all your content or all your new content is paywalled. The biggest problem here is they're kneecapping their own free marketing channel by paywalling it. So my guess is, just from looking at the type of content they make, they're a pretty big team, and they're probably gonna need a lot of people to sign up to this platform just to stay afloat. I'm assuming they're probably gonna need like 50,000 people paying for Watcher just to stay afloat, as 50,000 people would be like $300,000 a month. But I mean, even if they hit that number, it's gonna be hard for them to grow if they're not posting regular content on YouTube. Because how are they going to find a new audience? Are they going to resort to normal marketing, kind of like Hulu and Netflix and all those people do? Because then they run into a whole new problem. They don't have the budget to compete with those kinds of platforms. I'll happily explain how YouTube businesses work, because I am a YouTube nerd. I dropped out of high school in 2016 to become a full-time YouTube nerd. Thankfully, that worked out, because I really didn't enjoy my janitor job. So we have a good thing going here. Don't worry, guys. I won't be paywalling my content anytime soon. It's been a while since we brought the whiteboard on this channel. I think last time I busted out a whiteboard on my channel, iDubbbz made a video on me. So we have a good whiteboard track record. So let me just explain this here. Okay, wait. Okay. It's easiest if I draw it first, and then we get to the explaining. So oh wow, this is a long time since I've done this. Brands. All right, so you have the YouTube channel in the middle here, and then these are the main ways your favorite YouTube channel makes money. Most people make money from the Google ads that are ran on this channel. Those are pretty self-explanatory. They pop up every 2 to 4 minutes unless you have YouTube Premium. I forgot that. Okay, YT Premium. So you have the ads that show up every 2 to 4 minutes unless you have YouTube Premium, or that extension that's kind of like Voldemort for YouTubers. You shouldn't really speak of that. Next up over here, you have brands. These brands would be like Ryan Trahan's Joyride, or Oompaville's Sour Boys, or Mr. Beast's Feastables, or my personal brand, Matt City, which we actually recently launched. Brands are an extra revenue source which helps the main YouTube channel, which are fully optional if the viewer wants to support the creator by buying from their brand. Then you have affiliates, which most commonly would be via Amazon. So sometimes you'll see like review channels, they'll be reviewing products, and then you'll see like an Amazon link in their bio. Then you have subscriptions, which could either be via like the YouTube join button, where you can join and get some like, you know, emotes or a badge in the comments, early access to some videos, or I guess like Watcher, they have their own system that they wanted to cut out YouTube for some reason. Well, it's because YouTube takes 30 to 40% chunk of the subscriptions, if I remember correctly. But there's pros and cons to that. So YouTube will take a chunk of your subscriptions, but also when you run a subscription model on YouTube and you have some of your content paywalled, your viewers will still get recommended the paywalled content, even though if they're not subscribed to it in some instances. So when they click on it, or they have the option to click on it and then pay if the title and thumbnail seem interesting. So that's like a free marketing channel, which also in a way justifies YouTube's portion of the cut. You're also using their platform. And then finally, you have sponsored integrations or custom integrations, where the YouTuber actually sits down and does an advertisement. On my channel, I try to find something that actually solves a problem for my audience, like in the way where most people have way too much information about themselves on the internet without even knowing about it. Well, how do you reduce the amount of information about you that's on the internet? And if you want to do so, you need to combat data brokers, because we've all signed up to something with our number, and suddenly you're being spammed by all sorts of telemarketers and scammers. Because unfortunately, data brokers, they take your information from various sites and they sell them to the highest bidders. The only problem is just way too many of those sites, and you're going to end up having to email every single one of them a takedown request, and before you know it, it, that's going to be a part-time job. But that's where today's sponsor, Incogni, comes in, because they manage all that for you. They will scan the internet for your information, automatically send takedown requests on your behalf, and they keep checking for you to make sure that you don't get put back into the system. I've now been using Incogni for about 7 months, and it's already had 207 data collectors take my information down. And it's also saved me over 155 hours of my time if I wanted to manually process all those requests. So I'm actually happy there's a solution to this massive problem. So if you're dealing with the same issues, you can use my code Atozy for 60% off your first year. For me, the service is already a massive win because the spam calls I used to get multiple times a day have now vanished. But that's sadly just the tip of the iceberg for what data collectors actually collect. So the crazier stuff would be your shopping habits, address, social security number, and employment history. So I'm grateful Incogni wanted to support the channel, allow me to promote a product that I personally use and enjoy. So if you think Incogni can help, you can go to incogni.com/Atozy by clicking the top link down below to start taking your personal data off the market right now. But without further ado, let's continue the video. But yeah, integrations like that, Google Ads, and products like my new brand, Matt City, is how I run my channel. That allows me to hire a small team to help me create a bunch of free content from you guys. If I take away the free content, I am no longer providing value to the same extent to you guys. So everything I've then built will then collapse. And that's what it seems like these Watcher guys have done. So today I thought we'd take a look at this video and figure out how they're trying to sell this and why this is probably one of the worst moves they can do.
And that was kind of hit or miss, you know?
Yeah, we were working crazy hours trying to get the next cool hit video out, trying to make the next big thing. And that was the culture there. It was fun, but also intense.
Steven and myself made something called Worth It and Unsolved, respectively.
That was when I went from like, oh, there's that Asian kid in the BuzzFeed video, to like, oh, that's Steven Lim. That's like the guy who hosts Worth It.
Luckily, I was, roped into Unsolved and was able to be in that.
There was a fire in all three of us. We had something to prove. We had a passion for making content and making it to a certain level of quality that would perhaps punch above its weight.
So why are you going to take that off YouTube? Like, that's what kind of made them stand out a bit, because they're doing this high production stuff on YouTube and it was free to watch. And this is why they have a big audience, because they make really good content.
For BuzzFeed, that's like that. Why couldn't we not bet on ourselves and then perhaps do the same thing at our own little shop? When the three of us huddled together around my little kitchen table in my apartment, we kind of wrote down the mission statement of just, we want to make a studio or a platform where we could make unscripted television caliber content on the internet. And to that point, nobody had quite done that. Full-blown developed shows had not been kind of a thing on YouTube to that point.
Smosh, Good Mythical Morning. There's a few of them. But again, why paywall it then? Like, you should at least keep more than 80% of your content free for everyone.
Especially when we first started Unsolved and Worth It, and we wanted to continue that trend over here at Watcher.
I think the philosophy of Watcher is us very earnestly exploring something without much irony. Granted, we're like, when we're doing our ghost hunts, it's a jokey channel, but I think underneath it all, there's like a genuine interest in stuff and a passion for exploring, the stuff that we're interested in.
They have a big studio. They probably have a lot of employees, which is why I guess it makes sense in my head why they're trying to do something like that. Because my guess is they're not profitable. If I look at their views again, and I hate to be that guy, but I mean, like, they're doing 12 million long form views. They make long videos. So at pushing it, they might be making 120K a month, which sounds like a lot until you have a massive studio like that and a whole bunch of employees. Because that's a big studio. They got a lot of desk space right there as well. So like, I mean, they probably have at least 15, 20 employees, it looks like, from the size of that room.
Being able to hire incredible people.
Yeah.
Growing our staff from 3 to 6 to 10 to 20.
Oh no.
To 25.
Oh no.
Part of the fans.
I feel like this is a curse with Hollywood. This is a curse of being out there in LA, because you're surrounded by all these like showbiz people who are used to running operations that can just burn hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it doesn't even matter to them. Like, when you're running a YouTube channel, you're running like a super tight ship. Like, you have to make a profit every month or else you're gonna go under, or you have to take massive loans, which are even riskier, which then, can create burnout, stress, all the anxiety that comes with that. Overall, it's just a nightmare. And I know people who have scaled way too quickly on YouTube and it's came back and bit them. And it's just like this really, really tricky and finicky thing because you want to grow your company. You want to scale it, but you also have to do it in a way where you're not sitting in this position where you suddenly have to fire a bunch of people because firing sucks. It's like the worst thing you could ever do, which is why I just work insane hours and then I have a extremely small team. Like I got 2.5 people, two who put in full-time hours and one who puts in part-time hours, and me who puts in double full-time hours. Let's go, baby. But for me, as of right now in my life, that's completely fine because I absolutely love this. But going back to the Hollywood-esque stuff, it gets to a point where you get diminishing returns. Having cast directors and all this extra fluff, sure, it makes the videos a little bit better, but maybe not for the YouTube audience. That might not actually be what your YouTube audience wants. So, I mean, it would be interesting to see how much they could do with half the team size. Because as of right now, for me, it seems like they're doing something this drastic simply because they're in a desperate position. They need some way to make extra money.
And the community that we've fostered.
But that's amazing. The fact that they can sell out like a whole auditorium like that is great. Like if anything, they should be doubling down on making more YouTube content to then do stuff like that, or make like 80% content that's free and then maybe paywall like 20% of it or something like that. So at least you're providing a consistent channel of free value, which then brings in more and new viewers.
Effect of it is like you're out in public and people are like, hey, wow, you know, we watched a lot of your content during a tough time and it really helped us.
That is really cool.
Especially when we do our live shows, you notice that it's very fascinating. The audience that we've attracted are also weirdos.
That's so awesome. Why would they want to do something to jeopardize this? Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
I'm very happy with the progress that we've made over here at Watcher over these past 4.5 years. But it feels like we are just at the point where we've hit a bit of a ceiling in terms of what YouTube is able to offer.
Oh, no. Yeah. No, they don't have enough creator friends. Like, they don't have enough YouTubers to talk with to be able to navigate this. Because if I look at their channel, I feel like they have a packaging problem, not a content problem. The solution to the problem of not getting enough views is not to paywall all your content. No, it's to keep trying to innovate to get the views you were pulling when you were at BuzzFeed. Like the whole flywheel of YouTube, like at the end of the day, the thing that drives all of these things is providing value to your audience. The better content you make, the better all of these things will do. So it's like the advice for any YouTuber who's like struggling is make better content. And better is like, you know, that's kind of a vague term. The best way to gauge better content would be make content that more people want to watch and that more people enjoy. Because the more people who watch your content and the more people who enjoy that content, YouTube will then recommend that content to similar audience types. So you as a viewer, you're being classified as like an audience type. So maybe you watch my channel, maybe you watch Oompaville's channel and so on like that. Let's say there's another viewer who watches similar videos to you. So let's say someone in an audience type has not seen my videos before, but they enjoy Oompaville and they enjoy Critical. That person is then in an audience type group, and other people who enjoy Oompaville and enjoy Critical and enjoy my content are maybe in that same audience group. So then that person who hasn't seen me before, who's in the same audience group as that person, will then get recommended some of my videos to see if they enjoy my videos as well. And the same thing would happen with Watcher. If various audience types enjoy similar content to Watcher's content, but haven't seen Watcher before, YouTube will then try to recommend those people Watcher's content. And I feel like a problem with a lot of these channels is they do these like really expensive productions without thinking, who is this content for? How are we packaging this content? And essentially they're just hiring the wrong people because they need more people in the idea department, because idea on YouTube is everything. If I sat here and made a video titled how to drill a hole in the wall, not as many people are going to watch that video because the idea is not great.
More than 50% of our business is run by advertising. We are relying on ads to make money, to pay the bills, to run this office, to make beautiful content for all of you guys out there. Unfortunately, over
That's
time,
YouTube businesses,
the deals that
though.
we were getting in 2019, 2020 are looking a lot different than they are today. We're making something for two audiences. We're making it for the fans, all of you out there, and we're also making it to please the advertisers. It's difficult to make the stuff that we want to make and also then appeal to the advertisers as well.
Yeah, it's a hard job. But it's like, are they worried about like demonetization? I see like one of their they have a show called Too Many Spirits. And I'm assuming they probably don't get the greatest of ads on it because they're drinking alcohol in the videos. So that could be a thing. But the problem with that is, okay, maybe paywall that, but keep all your other shows free. I'm trying to understand their decision here.
It costs a certain amount to make content in the way that we do it. We try to put things on the screen that we feel adheres to a certain level of quality that you would find on, say, a Netflix or something like that. But in doing so, it does cost a certain amount. Like, for example, a Ghost Files episode. First, we have to travel to the location itself. We have to pay the location fee. We have to pay freelance staff that comes to help us shoot that when we're shooting it in the studio. We have to pay for the studio to shoot the actual episode in. Then we have to pay for post. Before that, we also have to do the pre-production of the episode. And when you add that all up, we're talking about an end of a season that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I think if they made it a more budget version, I think they'd still have the same viewers. Because like there's a charming effect of being a low budget studio. Like you don't need to try to compete with Netflix or Hulu or all these platforms on YouTube, because part of the charm of being a creator is you're just an independent creator. Yes, it's cool to scale up your team so you can provide more quality content to your audience, but like I don't think the audience wants the Netflix, Hulu, and HBO quality, or else they just would be on Netflix, HBO, and Hulu and so on. Because if I look at their comments, it seems to be a massive, massive disconnect between their audience and what they think their audience wants.
I'm not sitting here complaining that is the bed we've made. Everyone has different missions they're marching towards on YouTube. Ours was to make a television show. And, you know,
why?
You start to realize like
TV's dying. Television is on its way out. Why would you want to make a television show? Why aren't you just focused on making the best possible YouTube show?
Shows aren't meant for YouTube. Perhaps we should find a different place that's better suited to the content that we're making and can support the
But your audience, your fans are on YouTube.
So that we're not constantly running around trying to find sources of revenue to support the model.
We work from the other direction here, which is like we start first by looking at what we want to say and think about and talk about, and that's always informed our content, which is why I think our content doesn't necessarily always like trend. We've trended quite a few times, okay? But that's never, that's never our goal. And I think by that token, YouTube has never been like the perfect fit for us.
All that being said, we have realized that it would be great if we could find a way to rely less on advertising, not make it such a big part of our business. And so we've been working over the past few months and years.
But there's so many other ways to do that. You can do like the YouTube subscription model where you offer some of your content behind the YouTube paywall, because at least you're getting the free marketing still. Or you can do Patreon, where you do most of your content's free and then a small percentage of it is behind the paywall on Patreon, or your own platform in that model. If you move all of your future content behind a paywall, your business is just going to nosedive because you just lose all of that exposure and you upset your audience, because what was once free for them, they now have to pay for.
Like, how can we make this business more sustainable? How can we make something where we can make the things that we want to make for all of you guys?
Not this way.
About all the other forces that are here. In terms of where this company is going and where I believe that we can be the most successful, YouTube is no longer the place.
It is. You guys are thinking about it in the wrong way.
For anybody who's watched or supported us to this point, truly, thank you. The goal was always to make television caliber quality content, and not just for YouTube, but for you guys. I guess we just hope you guys follow us this one last time.
Okay, so I guess we've now watched a 5-minute justification for why they're leaving YouTube, which I think they're in a bubble. I don't think they talk to enough creators who run successful creator businesses. I don't know, maybe they talk to some venture capital partner that they're partnering with to create Watcher. I don't know. I don't know why they're doing this. It just doesn't make sense to me. That was an assumption, by the way. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
to our very own independent streaming service, Watcher. Watcher is an ad-free, independent streaming service dedicated to providing you guys the television caliber content that you know and love. But you're probably wondering, how is it going to be different than the YouTube experience?
The new streamer, I think, is a place that reflects what our content is. High-quality series in season form, beautifully organized, ad-free. It's what we were destined to be.
First of all, bigger and better content.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to improve Ghost Files. I mean, I'm very happy with how the show has been, produced so far, but the streamer is going to give us an opportunity to really add to it.
But I'm trying to understand how they're going to do bigger and better when they're reliant on so many people to sign up for this platform. Like they need like 50,000 people probably to be doing bigger and better. Maybe 30,000, but still it's a lot of people they're relying on to sign up for this.
Well, to take bigger swings and go international, like we're going to the UK and we're going to Scotland. Also, the more resources we have, the more time we could focus on making the show better. And every season of that show, I want it to be better than the last. And
But again, how are they going to market this if they are deleting their main free marketing channel? The advantage these guys had on Hulu, Netflix, and so on is their massive YouTube presence and their fan base they have on YouTube. Why are they going to give up that advantage?
very excited for season 3, what you guys will see on the streamer.
The advent of this streamer has allowed me to bring the gang back together.
That's true.
Adam,
your pals.
Andrew, the old friends from Worth It, and we're going to be launching the spiritual successor, which is going to be called Travel Season.
Are you excited to work
They
with
could be doing this on YouTube as well.
After 12 seasons of Worth It, it feels great to make something that is very similar and based on a lot of those experiences, but we get to dispense with all the stuff that we don't like.
So if you want to catch that, you can watch it on May 31st. It's going to be a full 6-episode season, and you can watch it all, if you remember, on the streamer.
So it's essentially like the same content that was for free, but without some stuff?
Will there be new, fresh shows? We're going to put it up to the members to resurrect a show from the past. There are a lot of shows that maybe didn't do phenomenally on YouTube that would be performing perfectly fine on a streamer.
What a weird, wonderful idea.
Normally that means people just weren't interested in that show then. Or they just completely failed at packaging the show in a way where people wanted to enjoy it. Because the thing about YouTube, it's while it seems advanced, it's pretty simple. If there's something a lot of people want to watch, the video will have a lot of views. If it's a bad idea or poorly packaged, it's not going to perform well.
I'm excited about the prospect of bringing on some new talent, some new faces, and making content around them. And, being able to shape some shows that don't always involve us is something I'm really excited about. And, we get to maybe bring back a little blue guy.
When it comes down to it, end of the day, why not? That should be our slogan. Why not?
I mean, I imagine he'll pop in.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether you like it or not.
That's fair. All this to say, you'll still occasionally see us on YouTube. We're going to post trailers for our shows there. We're going to have the season premieres of all of our series on there. But if you want to watch the full seasons of all of our content, the streamer will be the exclusive home for all of that starting May 31st.
Steven, talk about money.
Yeah, what's this price?
Again, this is just a terrible idea because if they're only posting one episode of each thing on their channel now, they're kneecapping their own channel. That is their free marketing channel, and that's kneecapped now. I guess I'm disappointed. I'm like disappointed and sad because these guys make really good content. Like, it's cool. It's really cool to see them on YouTube. It's just sad to see them do something that, in my opinion, is going to be catastrophic for their own business. But sure, let's have them explain the pricing.
You can become a member of Watcher for $5.99 a month or $59.99 a year.
We want to keep the price low enough where anybody and everybody is able to afford it, but it also has to support the things that we do here. So that was the number that just made the most sense for the streamer.
And look, you can share it, with your friends.
That's true.
What are we going to do?
Keep your eyes glued on all of our social channels. We'll be announcing some sweet opportunities to win merch, a free annual subscription, and a bunch of other wacky stuff from us. For those of you that sign up before May 31st, because we are going to have a little bit of a beta period, which will be launching today, actually.
Right now. You can sign up right now.
As of today, the release of this video, April 19th,
Think of this beta period as a soft launch, an opportunity for early adopters to sign up, help us work out the kinks, and provide feedback to make it a better experience for everybody.
Yeah, the beta will be a transitional period where you'll still be able to access content on YouTube, but beginning May 31st, you'll need to become a member of our streaming service to access full seasons and new releases.
And as a thank you to our first members, those that sign up before May 31st will have the opportunity to vote to bring back your favorite show. And not only that, but we're giving members who sign up before May 31st a whole 30% off their annual subscription.
So if you want to become a member right now, you can actually go to our description. You can click on the link somewhere in the video, but it's just watchertv.com. Super easy.
That's right. WatcherTV.com.
WatcherTV.com.
Watch your TV.
Okay, yeah. So that's actually the discounted price. I already forgot how much the discount was. Was it 30%? Yeah, it was 30% off. So it's like almost a $10 a month subscription or a $9 a month subscription. That's a tough sell, especially when you went from building your entire audience on free content. Yeah, they have so many people credited in their description as well. Yeah, like there's a lot of bloat in this company. Obviously, it takes all these people to make the kind of productions that they're making, but like at some point, like for YouTube, you do need to cut some corners, and that's just the sad reality of it. Either that, or you need to figure out a way to be pulling the Mr. Beast views, or even 10% of Mr. Beast views. I feel like if they put all of the energy into just new ideas and packaging their videos better, they would have been way better off than all of the energy into this Watcher platform.
We really couldn't be more excited for you guys to join us on this next chapter, hopefully. We'd love for you guys to come along with us. But at the same time, this is our final goodbye to YouTube. And, you know, if it's our goodbye to you, I hope it's not. But if it is, I do want to say thank you for supporting us all along the way.
Your viewership has allowed us to do all these wonderful things that we've done these past 4 years.
So why bring it to an end? Guys, this is not the correct pivot. I don't know. It's sad to see them go out like that, but who knows? They might return. I think they're going to return to YouTube because I think they're going to realize this is a terrible decision. And they already kind of backpedaled a little bit, or either backpedaled or they clarified more in their pinned comment by saying, the fun will continue at watchertv.com. We hope to see you there. Edit. Hey, y'all. Seeing a lot of folks saying that we're pulling all of our content off YouTube. To clarify, all of the content on our YouTube channel will continue to live here forever. For new seasons, the first episodes will be released on YouTube, will be remaining coming out exclusively on the Watcher platform. And I mean, the comments here are just going in. Did I just get laid off as a Watcher fan? If you can't afford your production costs, then lower your production costs. Don't betray the fans who made you rich. Are you kidding me? I don't think these guys are rich because they put all their money into just inflating their production costs. Yes, they were given a massive platform, and yes, they're completely fumbling it right now. But yeah, definitely lower the production costs instead of making a whole new paid subscription service. It just doesn't make sense. YouTube can't even get me to pay for YouTube Premium. What makes you guys think I'm going to pay for your version of YouTube that doesn't even have the rest of YouTube on it? Exactly. They're just not providing enough value here. I'm no business person, but I would have downsized my business before downsizing my fans. Exactly. Steal from the rich. Do it. Okay, Shane says that. Okay, right. Oh boy. 100 Australian dollars a year for something that originally was free is a bold move. Like many are saying, it's the Ryan and Shane dynamic that we love watching, not the high production. Exactly. Yeah. Like, Watcher, I can hardly afford her. Whoever you guys consulted would just ripped you guys off. Fire them ASAP. Definitely. I will now and perhaps forever remain unsubscribed. The title should have been Goodbye to Most of Our Fan Base. The radio silence from Watcher on this is loud. Canceled my Patreon and won't be following. Oh, they had a Patreon as well? Oh, come on, guys. I would have loved to continue, guys, but I literally cannot afford my rent and bills. I can't pay for you guys too. Shane's character arc of Eat the Rich to participating in paywalling his content is crazy. Bros love hunting ghosts so much they became one. Yeah, there's so many people who are claiming they subscribe to their Patreon here. So I didn't even know Watcher had a Patreon. Guys. Yeah, no, who are they consulting with? Because it doesn't make sense. This is possibly one of the worst moves in the history of YouTube business moves. Yeah, they have a Patreon. They have a Patreon with 12,000 members. Okay, so that adds a little bit of context with at least their revenues. They're not only just making YouTube ads, they're not getting only brand deal ads, but they're also getting the Patreon ads as well. They're probably, because of how many people they've hired, there's probably still a lot of bloat there, and they might not even be profitable even with the Patreon, which is why they're probably doing something desperate like this. Either way, what a terrible decision. It'll be interesting to see how this pans out. It'll be interesting to see how they respond to this, because clearly they had their entire fan base revolt on them. So if there's a takeaway from this, if you're a massive creator, even a creator in general, and you have gained an audience from providing free content, don't paywall all of your content, because that's not going to go too great, as we clearly see here. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.